felt like we had a great relationship. And a lot of it, he'd been around, Tuck had been around us obviously for forever. And I was fortunate enough, I got to play for my dad and my uncle. And so that was a unique experience in itself. But having Tucker, he started as a sophomore here with a really senior laden group. And so I was a little nervous going into his sophomore year because we had a ton of pieces coming back and we were going to be really, really good. But he was going to be our quarterback, and we had two guys, and he clearly beats the other guy out. And I went into it with a really open mind, almost gonna probably more give it to the other guy.
Yep.
But he had worked hard and proved himself, and so we go down and beat Evergreen in overtime to win the first league championship here since 2003 with him as a sophomore. And so he got to be around a group of kids that, 2 years before he's their ball boy, and now he's every eye in the huddle is looking at him, and he had a really good, calm demeanor. And then 2 years ago, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the story. One of the scariest things we ever dealt with. We played Mountain View on a Friday and got beat by 1 point. We had gone for two. I got goofy and went for two, and we didn't get it to lose the game at home, homecoming, blah, blah, blah. And Tuesday at practice, we're out on the field, and one of the kids comes up to Tucker and goes, "God, your arm, it looks like it's on steroids." And I look over at it, and I tap it, and this is like game 7, and I go, we get him to the trainer. Well, the next thing, we're down at Randall's Children's Hospital in Portland that night. He's got a blood clot in his arm, and it had all got it into his lungs and everything. He had a Paget-Thorau syndrome where his clavicle and his upper rib were pushed together that caused a blood clot from throwing and lifting and overuse a little bit and just weird. The same thing that the Notre Dame quarterback had. So they pulled his rib out, his upper rib out in a surgery that we didn't know. And so it really, Josh, put things, we didn't know if he was going to get a play. We didn't know if he was going to live. Things really got put into perspective for me. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know if I was going to come back and coach again that next year. But when he went through all that and decided he wanted to play again, I was like, I'm definitely coaching him. And our relationship, the good Lord took care of us. Tucker runs our FCA here and does a lot of stuff. And I was like, the good Lord took care of us. And if he worked his butt off that much, I'm going to be here for his senior year and coach him and his group. And he came back and had a great year. And it was a wild time at our house to keep him going. And so I wanted to be there. I was, you're hard on him, but you're also, we have a really good relationship, and a lot of it was